Trust me, men may forget what you wore, or even the words you whispered, but after intimacy, there's one thing they never forget. It's not about performance or appearances or playing some role. It's about what you do in the quiet after. After 60, the moments that matter aren't in the fireworks, but in the aftermath. When the body is tired, the soul is bare, and what lingers is far more revealing than passion itself. A gesture, a look, a touch, even silence handled with care. These are the things that stay burned into a man's memory long after the night has passed. Welcome back to Journey After 60, and in today's video, we'll explore what make men truly never forget you after intimacy. You may be surprised because it isn't about passion or performance, it's the small things, like the way your gentle touch lingers after the moment has passed. That's what stays with him long after the night is over. And if you find wisdom here, do me a small favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to Journey After 60. It's not just to support me, it's for you too, because each week I share lessons that make this stage of life feel a little lighter, wiser, and more connected. Now, let's step into the very first thing a man never forgets after intimacy. It may not be what you think. In fact, it's often overlooked because it feels almost too ordinary. But trust me, this quiet, human detail can mean more to him than any grand gesture. Number 1. The way you stay. After 60, we realize intimacy isn't measured only in the act itself. It's revealed in what happens after. And one thing men never forget is this: whether you choose to stay close or whether you turn away. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And nothing shapes a man's thoughts more deeply than the memory of how you treated him in the quiet after intimacy. Did you offer distance as if it were only a duty? Or did you remain near, your presence saying without words, "I want to be here with you, not just for this moment, but for all of it"? At first glance, it may seem like a small detail, whether you linger in his arms or roll aside. But to a man, especially after 60, this moment carries a truth he cannot ignore. Life has already stripped away so many illusions of youth. What remains are simple gestures that speak louder than grand declarations. The way you stay tells him more than passion ever could. It says he is not just a body to you, but a soul worth resting beside. It says he is not just a partner in the act, but a companion in the silence that follows. For men who have carried decades of responsibility, that quiet closeness feels like a reward life rarely gives, a sanctuary. This is why he never forgets it, because the act fades quickly, but the memory of being chosen, even in stillness, lingers. It reminds him he is wanted, not for what he can do, but for who he is. Instead of rushing to get up, pause. Rest your head on his chest. Let your hand linger in his, or simply stay close enough that he feels your presence. Even silence can be a gift if it's filled with warmth rather than distance. You don't need perfect words or dramatic gestures. Your calm nearness tells him more than anything you could say. That is what he will carry with him long after the night has ended. And when you offer him that, something powerful happens. He begins to look at you with a tenderness that does not vanish. But there's another gesture, even simpler, that speaks as loudly. Number 2, the words you whisper. For a man, especially after 60, those moments carry a weight no passion can equal. A simple phrase like, "I feel at peace with you," or "I love this moment we share," doesn't just fill the air. It lodges itself in his heart. Long after the night has faded, he remembers not the intensity of the act, but the honesty of the words you left him with. It is not flattery he recalls, but sincerity. Empty praise evaporates. Words spoken softly from a place of truth stay alive in his memory, like a light he can return to when doubt or loneliness creeps in. My closest friend Harold, we've known each other for more than 10 years, once confided in me something that I'll never forget. He said, "What she said after was what I carried with me, not the act itself." Harold wasn't talking about romance in the dramatic movie-like sense. He meant those quiet, almost offhand words a woman speaks when both of you are still catching your breath. So while the world may celebrate the big gestures, what he never forgets is how you made him feel in those quiet minutes after intimacy. Because those are the moments when masks are gone and truth has no disguise. This is why what you whisper after intimacy matters so deeply. Because in that stillness, your voice has the power to define how he feels about himself, about you, and about the bond you share. After intimacy, resist the urge to fill the silence with small talk or to retreat into distraction. Instead, offer a few real words. They don't have to be grand or poetic, just genuine. Whisper to him how grateful you are for his presence, how much you enjoy simply being there. Even a soft, "I like this moment with you," can become the memory he holds long after time has blurred the rest. Don't just let this truth slip away. Save this video so you'll always remember the kind of words a man carries in his heart long after the night has ended. He may hold on to the words you whisper, but words alone are never enough. What truly stays with a man is not always spoken, and that's where the next gesture reveals its quiet, unforgettable power. Number 3. The gentle touch after. It's easy to think intimacy ends the moment the act is over. But for many men, what you do with your hands afterward is what lingers in their memory. The way you brush his arm, rest your palm on his chest, or quietly hold his hand, these are the gestures that tell him he is more than just a body to you. And the research supports it. In one 2015 study published in the Journal of Gerontology, nearly 72% of older men said that affectionate touch after intimacy mattered more to them than the act itself. Even more striking, 64% admitted they remembered moments of gentle physical closeness far longer than the details of intimacy. As we age, touch becomes rarer. Friends greet with distance, children grow busy, and the world often forgets that older men still crave the comfort of closeness. That's why a gentle touch after intimacy feels unforgettable. It reassures him that he is not invisible. not forgotten, not beyond the reach of tenderness. What makes this so powerful is that it carries no demand. It doesn't ask him to perform, to explain, or to prove. It simply says, "I am still here with you." For a man who has lived through decades of shouldering burdens, that kind of nonverbal comfort is almost sacred. Don't underestimate the quiet language of your hands. Stay near. Let your fingers linger on his skin, even if only for a moment. Stroke his hair, trace the lines of his hand, or simply rest your palm over his heart. These small gestures may feel ordinary to you, but to him they are irreplaceable. Reminders that intimacy is not just about passion, but about being held in the presence of someone who truly cares. He will forget the rush of the night, but he will not forget that you touched him as if he mattered when the world was quiet again. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe those small touches after intimacy matter more than the act itself? Share your experience in the comments. And still, there's a final gesture, the most overlooked of them all, that can make the difference between a fleeting memory and a bond he carries to his last breath. Number 4. The way you let him rest. With age comes a simple reality. Energy fades faster, and rest becomes more precious. Men rarely admit it, but one of the things they never forget after intimacy is whether you allow them to rest. Not just the body, but the mind. Think about it. A man past 60 has spent decades carrying burdens, family, finances, expectations. Even in love, he often feels the need to perform, to prove, to protect. But in the quiet after intimacy, what he longs for most is release. Not just the release of passion, but the freedom to let go of his armor without judgment. That's why men never forget the woman who gives them that space. Maybe it's the way you tuck the blanket around him, the way you stay still so he can drift off, or simply the way you don't demand conversation when his body is heavy with fatigue. To him, that permission to rest is more intimate than anything else, because it tells him you love not just his strength, but also his weakness. From my own experience, I remember a night when I was exhausted, not just in body, but in spirit. The woman beside me didn't say much. She didn't ask for attention or conversation. She simply placed her hand lightly on my arm, stayed close, and let me drift into sleep. I'll be honest, I can't recall the details of the intimacy that came before, but I've never forgotten that small act of grace. It was the kind of rest only love can give, the kind that heals more than passion ever could. Think of it as giving him the gentle permission to simply be. Hold back the urge to move too quickly or fill the silence with chatter. Let the moment breathe instead. Stay close. Let your presence be steady, and show him through your calmness that it's safe to let go. Even something as simple as lying quietly beside him or resting your hand lightly on his arm can speak louder than words. Long after the night fades, he will remember that rare peace, the feeling that with you, he no longer has to carry the weight of the world. And when you give him that, you're not just ending intimacy. You're writing the memory he will carry into tomorrow, and perhaps for the rest of his days. So let's step into the conclusion. where I will bring these pieces together and show you what they mean for love after 60. As we wrap up these 4 truths, the message comes into focus. What men carry with them after intimacy isn't really about passion at all. It's about presence, the words you whisper, the gentle touch, and even the gift of rest. These are the quiet gestures that last far beyond the moment, the ones he never forgets because they reach him in a way nothing else can. The value of intimacy in later life isn't measured in fire, but in gentleness, not in grand performance, but in the comfort of being seen and accepted. As the poet Khalil Gibran once wrote, "Love knows not its own depth until the hour of separation." And often, it is in the silence after intimacy where that depth reveals itself most clearly. So, if today's video has spoken to your heart, I invite you to like it, subscribe to Journey After 60, and save it, so these reminders are always close when you need them. And share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these gestures resonates most with your own journey of love and connection? Thanks for watching till now, and see you in next video.